Hey guys, Sam here, welcoming you back to the Bradford City Road to Glory career mode. And in today's episode, guys, we kick off with a game against Brighton Hove Albion. If you're enjoying this series, make sure you leave a like down below. If you're watching this video right now, the support has lacked a little bit in the last couple of episodes, especially the last episode. We didn't even hit 20 likes. So if we could bring that right back up to about 25 or even 30 likes, that would be absolutely brilliant. You guys know that the continued support is always appreciated, so thank you anyone who has been pressing that like button every single time. I love you so much, and I love all of you that are watching this video. So as we get into this game, we start off pretty well against Brighton Hove Albion. Here, Darby skilling a little bit, gets a cut inside, gets it to Gallagher. Unfortunately, Stockdale does not grab it for his sake, and Akpom is able to collect the spills and put it in. As we go 1-0 up very early on against Brighton Hove Albion with an easy tap in for Chuba Akpom, who's now stepped up a little bit and is quite a good player in my opinion. He's grown in confidence, and yeah, you can just see it in his gameplay that he's just been playing a lot better. You know, him and Gallagher up front has been a great combination. The unfortunate thing is now I have this decision between 4-4-2 and 4-3-3, and it's difficult to drop Akpom, but sometimes I think I need to do it to play three midfielders, because the three midfield formation has been absolutely brilliant. Gary Little, who's stepped up, has been absolutely brilliant when he's been called upon. And in the 35th minute, we earn ourselves a penalty thanks to Chuba Akpom. Unfortunately, I'm not doing who wins and takes him anymore. I used to do it in my Sunderland career mode, my PSG career mode, but I feel like now I need a certain penalty kick taker. I need a specific penalty kick taker, and that penalty kick taker is our main man up front. It's Sam Gallagher, and I feel like it just makes so much sense to have him as our main penalty taker. He's been our penalty taker for quite a while now. You know, for about a season actually. I think at the start of the Bradford career mode I was doing who wins and takes him, but now it's just sort of Sam Gallagher is our main man up front. Last season I think Zoko was our penalty taker, but man, the days of Zoko seem so far behind us right now, don't they? I don't know where he ended up going. I forgot where he ended up going. I gotta go watch that video back. I forgot what club he ended up going. We gotta look at that club and see where it's at and see how he's doing. Because I do miss Zoko. He was an incredible player. It's got to be said. Oh, Blackpool. Yeah, that's right. He was on loan. So he's back at Blackpool now, isn't he? We've got to check out how Blackpool's doing. And as you can see here in the 60th minute, Sam Gallagher picks himself up an injury, unfortunately, which means we do go back to the 4-3-3 in this game. And we're going to have to see how long he's injured for, because that could be a very big loss. But Kennedy was the player who we brought back on. And as you can see, he started off brilliantly with a nice chip through ball to Akpom. Unfortunately, was unable to finish. A great save from the goalkeeper. And a scramble in the box enables Brighton Hove Albion to get away with it. But we did keep the pressure on Brighton Hove Albion. We weren't content with 2 goals. It was absolutely incredible to see the pressure we were putting on him. Jack Grealish here with a thunderous volley, or half volley even. I think he took a touch. And it rattles the crossbar and side post, unfortunately. And Jack Grealish here sets up Billy Knott, and he's like, you know what, if I couldn't do it, I'm going to let Billy Knott do it. And Billy Knott's like, let me show you how it's done, Jack Grealish. Give me the assist, and I'll show you how it's done. So Jack Grealish passes it to Billy Knott, who just smashes it past the keeper. Nothing the keeper can do about that. In the top left corner of the goal. Pretty much where Grealish was trying to aim for, but unfortunately he couldn't. And Billy Knott showed him how to do it. And Billy Knott's got a lot of power behind his shot. He's a brilliant central midfielder. And it's just so difficult because we have so many good central midfielders. To pick 2 of them or to pick 3 of them, you know, picking between Kennedy, Little, Knott, and Reed is really difficult. So playing 3-man in midfield, it seems to be a little bit better because I only have to drop 1 of them. But when we play 2 in midfield, it's really difficult because I have to drop 2 quality midfielders. But it's good to know that we have the depth there, because depth in the midfield is probably the most important place to have the depth. And we earn ourselves a win, and Akpom gets himself a vote. Jack Grealish got with a 7.7, Billy Knott with an 8. Just a really good performance all around from everybody, but Akpom got the 8.4, got himself a vote. And as you can see, Brighton Hove Albion were never really in it. One shot on target, compared to our 8 shots, 7 of them on target. So an incredible performance by us. And yeah, we're definitely going to take those 3 points, 3 goals as well, and a clean sheet. But unfortunately, Sam Gallagher does pick up an 8-week injury with a dislocated shoulder. That's about 2 months that he'll be out, which is pretty unfortunate. And, you know, right before a really important game against Leeds United, he gets injured. So probably the worst time for him to get injured. We're going to have to, you know, play this 4-3-3 with Akpom up front. It's the first game without Gallagher. You know, it's a bit weird, and we're going to have to really pull out a really good performance to get 3 points against Leeds. Obviously, very bitter rivals, Bradford City and Leeds. We had a derby game earlier on in the season against Huddersfield. I have a couple Bradford fans, and they told me that Leeds is actually a bigger rival than Huddersfield, so it's going to be absolutely necessary that we pull out 3 points here, especially Leeds' home ground, which I don't know off by heart, unfortunately. I probably should know that, because Leeds is quite a big club in English football. Also a Manchester United rival back in the day, way back in the day. So yeah, I share Bradford City's hate for Leeds United, I guess. And we start off incredibly well, as you can see, straight from the kickoff. Jack Grealish, again, him hitting that post is just... How many times could you do it in one episode, Jack? How many? Oh my goodness gracious. And he just performed really well this episode. He got a penalty here, and he's just... I don't know, he seems to have stepped up his game a little bit. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. He's cutting in a bit more, he seems a bit more confident with the ball. Yeah, it just seems like Jack Grealish has actually performed a tad better. He stepped his game up, and I wouldn't mind having him permanently. It's just how much he's going to cost me next season, and that's what it comes down to, because Lloyd Isgrove is #1 priority for signing next season. That is, if I make one signing, it's going to be Lloyd Isgrove permanently. I need to get him permanently. He's a class player, and hopefully I have enough funds to also bring in Jack Grealish and maybe a couple of other players just to get us up to Premier League standard. Hopefully we're in the Premier League at the moment. We're in that automatic promotion, so hopefully we do keep that spot. And as you can see, if we're going to keep that spot, we need to pull out wins, and we are pulling out a win so far against Leeds United, 1-0 under half an hour with a brilliant penalty from Chuba Akpom. Puts it in the sweet spot. 2 penalties in 2 games, one with Gallagher, one with Akpom, both in the same spot. And yeah, converting both penalties. I usually convert my penalties. It's very rare that I'll miss a penalty, but it has happened before, so I wouldn't be too surprised if I did. But Leeds United definitely weren't giving up. They still had a few chances, but as you can see, barely any chances in the game. And in the 90th minute, that is it. All wrapped up. We beat Leeds United at their home ground. Absolutely brilliant performance from the guys. We seemed to just sort of defend really well. We kept Leeds at bay, just passed it around, and yeah, I don't know, it was a very odd game. Not too many chances. Akpom did convert the penalty, and I feel like if he didn't convert the penalty, it would have ended 0-0. And Ben Williams is the person who gets the vote for us, who obviously kept a clean sheet. Didn't have to make too many saves. The man of the match was actually their goalkeeper somehow. But 5 shots, 2 on target for us, 5 shots, 1 on target for them. So quite an even game, but they weren't able to produce anything too intimidating or too threatening. So we're able to pull out another 3 points going into this game against Millwall. Which is also a very good side, in history of English football. They're struggling a bit this season, I think, in the Championship, so it's going to be interesting to see how that game ends up going or what ends up happening. But Millwall, a very good side, and they start off really well off a set piece. Ed Upson is the man who puts it away, the Millwall midfielder, and it's a poor start for us to go 1-0 down. And you guys already know, I've said it so many times that I don't like going 1-0 down, because then I have to play for the goal, and it's not playing at my own tempo. I rush things, I panic, all sorts of things happen when I go 1-0 down first. So yeah, I don't like going down 1-0 first, and unfortunately we do here off the set piece. I believe that it's Guy who's put the cross in, or put the free kick in, is an ex-Everton winger. I remember him because I did an Everton career mode a couple seasons back, just on my own privately, because I wasn't doing YouTube back then, and he was an absolute beast. So he's getting, we had to get an instant reply, and Lloyd Isgrove was definitely going to provide that instant reply. He provides it to Gary Little, who takes a shot and... Oh my goodness gracious, Gary Little with a rocket of a shot smashes that in the top right corner. Holy crap, what a goal from Gary Little. And this goes back to me not wanting to drop these central midfielders. Billy Knott can ping him, Gary Little can ping him, Jason Kennedy can ping him, even Harrison Reed can ping him. And they're all just so good, and that's why I don't want to drop Gary Little. But he gets us an equaliser, and Akpom here could have put us 2-1 up, but the keeper with a brilliant save, and unfortunately it wasn't meant to be at that point. Reed sends Isgrove through, rattles the side post again. How many times can we hit the post in one episode? Brilliant offensive pressure here from Gary Little, who's been brilliant this episode, sends in a through ball, and it's Jack Grealish who's able to bury it in the right hand side. And Gary Little again is the center point of our goal. Wow, the offensive pressure, the interception, what a cross it was as well. It was like it was a chip through ball, but it acted sort of as a cross, an early cross I guess you could call it. It's perfectly placed for Jack Grealish, who just has to poke it in, just tuck it in, nestle it in. Oh, you could just use so many adjectives there, but Oh my god, what a comeback that is with 2 brilliant goals, and both of them focused around Gary Little, and he's been absolutely brilliant. That's why I want to play the midfield 3, so he can get a bit of a chance, because he has just been so good. He was definitely our 4th choice central midfielder last season. I'd say he's our 3rd choice central midfielder now. I'd say Jason Kennedy has fallen in that 4th choice central midfielder position now. Gary Little has stepped up and he's so good, and here we're going to hold a 1-minute silence for Sean Cummings. Rest in peace, Sean Cummings, rest in peace. His ankle was broken, his heart was broken, his soul was broken, and he was broken. Unfortunately, he didn't live a very good life, and death by Lloyd Isgrove's skills is not the way that you usually want to go. But we pull out 3 points against Millwall. It was a bit of a sad game. We did get a funeral mid-game, and Jan Hyung-soo was wearing yellow gloves for some reason. I don't know if that's... I've never noticed that he's been wearing yellow gloves. I'm going to have to take them off him. They look fucking ridiculous. But we do pull out a win against Millwall, even though we went 1-0 down. So a great performance. 3 wins this episode. Gary Little picks up a vote off honestly, a phenomenal performance. That was probably one of his best performances for us. And he picks up his 2nd vote from EA. 8 shots, 5 on target for us. 3 shots, 2 on target for Millwall. And it was just a brilliant game at the end of the day. We did go 1-0 down, but I've never seen us bounce back and play so comfortably from 1-0 down. And that's how the league table ends at the end of this episode. Just 2 losses in the league with 10 goals conceded. That's an incredible defensive record, guys. With 47 points, 9 points clear of Hull City, Fulham, Middlesbrough, Cardiff, and Reading make the rest of the top 6. And it's just been an incredible season so far. Hopefully we can get that promotion. We've set ourselves up really well. And at the end of this episode, this is how the MVP running stand. Ben Williams, now with Gallagher's injury, is 2 points ahead of Gallagher, who's 3 points ahead of Akpom, and it's been an incredible MVP running, guys. If you did enjoy this episode, make sure you leave a like on the video. I'll see you guys very soon. Keep it real.